This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
I'm Stephen Leskey, the clerk/secretary, and I will declare at 7:06 that the meeting of the Easthampton Community Garden Committee is open for business, and we will first just check attendance. Do this one by lots. Lots are in attendance. We're just going right on. This is another test to make sure you know your spot. Let's start with you since it's confusing.
I'd be C8.
You are C8.
Frank Johnson.
And what's ours? No,
T3.
T3.
Harrison.
I had my updated list in front of me.
No, mine's on my desk with it.
I'm looking at this and saying, no, you're not B. No, you are. Karen?
C2. Karen Sosky.
B8. And I'm B11. The agenda always indicates a standing agenda. It just means that it's essentially structurally the same each and every time. We start off our meeting having been called to order for public comment, and that is for folks who are not members of the committee or plot holders who have something to inquire about, etc. I see none present. I've got someone else. See someone who is present. We will proceed from there. Next order of business are the adoption of the minutes from our last meeting. Copies were attached rather to the meeting notice and posted with the city, and hard copies have been made. All those involved, and they were attached to the whole agenda. So, anyone who was in attendance at that last meeting may move
I'll
for
make
their
a
adoption.
motion to accept.
Next is a motion to accept the minutes.
I second that motion.
Seconded. All in favor of adoption of the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing and hearing none. Minutes are adopted. Okay. We now move to the treasurer's report. And then a copy of that.
Yeah, I was just learning how this is all allocated in the city, and we have unallocated funds, and then we have a group of purchase orders, which are open purchase orders, and at Obashan, Broadbrook, Easthampton Feed, etc. And those purchase orders are paid when bills are submitted, but we are required to have original receipts, just as a reminder. I think Mark had to get something at Easthampton Feed, and I just said, put your original receipt, if you can right away, in an envelope and address it to me, Easthampton Community Garden, but it's probably best to send it directly to Barbara in the city clerk's office, because she keeps all those things together, and when the bills come in, if she doesn't have a receipt, the bill doesn't get paid. So that's the quickest way, and it can just be dropped in the Dropbox. So it's really easy to turn in receipts. So does anybody have, and in addition to the funds we have With the city, we do have some petty cash, some of which was turned over to me, and some of which Steve has had to purchase the keys and to collect the key money for the shed. So we just keep track of how much he has, how much I have. Are there any questions about the finance report?
Okay, maybe you just want to report what the opening and closing balances were on our city account and on our petty cash account.
Okay, I mean, for the total amount available to us on the city account is $3,516.22, and in the petty cash, $352.30 is available.
And the beginning balance for the month was, and that's our present balance, correct?
That
And
was our present balance, as bills are paid, as petty cash is spent. I will update it on a monthly basis
Right.
when I get the reports back from the city.
But your report does reflect that we have an opening balance of $2,817.16, right coming in, and we received $720
Right.
revenue. The revenue is basically people just submitting their annual fee.
Correct, yeah. For the 2022 garden year, the 720 was what had been paid. We've gotten a little more since then, but that will be in the next report. Since the reports have to be submitted at least a week in advance, I'm cutting off whatever I do on the 24th of the month, and then anything after that will go on next month. And then we did, there was one bill that was paid for the $20.34, or 94 cents, excuse me.
So we were in the Easthampton feed today and bought some stuff, and they wanted to know if we didn't pay for it, the town would get the town would get billed for it?
No. Okay, so what, for clarification, in what.
I mean, we paid for it
Yeah,
ourselves.
no, so what Ted was saying is that there are a few, sometimes the garden itself needs the.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
for instance, let's give an example, a busted nozzle. We just happen to have extras, well, let's just say we did. Then we would go to one of our open orders, in this case, Obashan, right, and we would purchase one.
Yeah.
And yes, we would inform them that if it's open an account, it's under BPW, they would mark it in that way. So actually, so Ted gave an example, for instance, where Mark needed to get things at Easthampton Feed, another place where we have an open account, again, for donation garden, et cetera, have we done that? For your personal stuff, okay, you wouldn't, it doesn't go under this.
Yeah, right.
Right, but.
That would be awesome.
You wouldn't,
Yeah.
but
We've got a lot more.
Easthampton Feed does say that if you are a member of the garden and you tell them that, they'll give you a discount.
They do.
But they did do that.
10%.
That's what it, that's
But then he questioned me if we were gonna pay for it, or if we didn't, then it sounds like the town was gonna get billed for it.
We said no.
We said,
Yeah.
We're
no.
not expecting the town.
Well, the
I want-
town would get
We're back
billed
in
for it
I
if we
actually,
purchased something for
I've
the
got to
garden.
pick up something from them tomorrow, you know what I'm gonna do? But they got, I'll say, oh, the Harrisons were fine. No, it's not
The
carte,
pallet of,
it's not
wood
carte
pellets?
blanche.
No. So we paid for it in 4
That's
hours.
good,
We were
but they are nice people.
disappointed.
Oh, they're awesome.
Maybe in
I
this
love it.
instance, they're too nice.
Well, they're very nice. They didn't have a
Yes.
huge selection of seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a real problem, actually, last year, the year before, there was a real
Really?
shortage of seeds.
Yeah, I
everyone
had-
was gonna grow.
Actually, we read that last year, that there was gonna be a shortage of seeds and stuff.
I
So,
have, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
a
Oh, my
stash
gosh.
in my freezer,
The-
but
Summer 2020,
Yeah, good luck finding some.
Yeah, really, yeah.
and then the next summer was even crazier. Yeah,
Yeah.
he sold everything out, and then they reordered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no.
yeah, but they're very
Yeah,
very accommodating.
Yeah.
Margie, hello, and I want to point out, when we started the meeting off, everyone identified themselves by plot. As a kind of Another pop quiz.
Well, just in case. I have a map,
Oh, great.
the latest, we're,
Oh, you got it up? Oh, okay. Well, we'll wait for your report on that. But
Yep.
if you want, for the record, if you want to, since we take attendance, if you
I
want to
am
identify.
Margie, and I am in B5.
There you go. Okay. We reduced ourselves to letters and numbers. Names mean nothing.
What?
We reduce ourselves to letters now and numbers. Names,
Nah,
A2D2 or whatever.
it's too reminiscent of other unpleasant systems.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, well, anything else?
Yeah, I had just a couple of things. Mark, who purchased and paid for all the compost,
Yes.
the donation garden got half a yard, and the pollinator garden got half a yard. So he is asking
Yes.
that we reimburse him from the petty cash because those are
Yes.
garden
Right.
plots.
Yeah, I think we can take it up in your, as part of your report then, to do that. He's coming and we'll get the donation garden report, but yes, it is up before the committee to reimburse, Mark, for, in this case, garden related, compost, which is pollinator garden, and donation garden, so. The amount on that, was it a half and half for both?
Yeah, it was a total $48.
$48, yeah, it'd be 24 and 24. So this would be, the treasurer proposes a motion to accept payment of petty cash to reimburse Mark and others for the monies he fronted for the compost for those two composts.
Second?
Okay, motion has been made on the fly. Made it, it's been seconded, all in favor of reimbursement?
Aye.
Aye, okay, no opposed, so when he comes, we'll reimburse him directly.
I don't know if this is where to do it, but there are a couple of things that I've seen. One is that we had Bear Path Compost, I guess, has an open purchase order, and that's where you used to get the compost. There's $65 sitting in there. I'd like to propose that we take that, undo that purchase order and just put the funds back into our general fund, because I don't see that we're going to be using them in any way if we continue with. I think this is the second year that
No, we used Bear Path last year.
we used them last year.
Is there a way we can keep a PO open and
That's
not
the
have
thing.
money in it?
So that's the thing. We want to, we don't want to close down that open account because then we'd have to reestablish one if we ever wanted to use Bear Path again.
And they have really good
But
compost.
Ted's correct in the sense that there's no pending sense of needing that $65 in there.
I'll carry it. We have enough elsewhere, so.
Well,
if
could
you wanna
we-
keep it open.
Could we just keep it open with like $5 in it?
Yeah.
And then we can move the 60 back in, or does it? I mean, we have enough
We have
money
the,
right
we have the
now.
ability to move money.
We can always move it later.
And
anyway.
$65 is
Yeah, right.
it's not going to break
Yeah,
the bank.
we can always
Yeah.
do that, moving things in and out. But we wouldn't want to zero out the account just for fear of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good PO to keep.
I'm actually going to take 1 second to just check the box to see if there are any other papers that you would have to present to us in terms of, unless you check.
I checked this afternoon.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I meant to
The
check.
box was empty as of
I meant to
2 o'clock.
You did? Okay. I meant to check on the way in and I realized, I forgot to do that because I was letting people know.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
And then, let's see, what, I just wanted to know, I'm not sure how it's done, whether there are any suggestions for increasing what we currently have in some of our purchase orders. Because I assume that you know, you have a much better idea of how much we might spend, whether we need to add $100 or $200. We can do, you know, if you have recommendations now, or we can think about it next time. I think we have enough probably to get through.
Yeah, I got one for Florida.
Okay,
Yeah.
a biggie.
Yeah, we should put probably another 200 in that. It's got 177 right now. So I was just looking on my phone because I scanned the receipt from the lawnmower tune-up last year, and it was 100. Came out to 114, 116. Sorry, and somebody donated a Mantis tiller to the garden last year, and I did everything I could to try and get it started. Spark plug's fine, everything. So I dropped that off as well for them to tune up and get running. So that's going to add on top of what I had. The one, you know, I'm sure the price of repairs has gone up as well. So, but it'll be nice to have that tiller because we can do some spot tilling on our own.
Okay, do you, sub 200?
Yeah, we should put 200 in there. There's another lawnmower in the shed that it was donated, and you abused it to go into the high weeds and stuff. I would love to get it running again. So I may bring that one up once we get I'll talk about all this with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should put a couple $100 more in that account at least.
Okay, so there's a motion to move monies from our city account that presently stands at 351622.
Stephen, I can't hardly hear you.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
is that a air purifier or something?
No.
It's working hard over there.
No, let me just make, there's a motion that's been made to move an additional amount of $200 into the Fleury sub-account from our city account, of which there's presently $3,516.22 that resides in that account. So there is a motion to move 200. Obviously, we have it.
Seconded.
It's been seconded by Karen. All in favor of moving the $200?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? No. $200. Okay, so moved. Okay, great, thanks. Okay,
That's all I have.
that concludes the treasurer's report. A very fine one.
So I guess you're Ted.
I'm Ted.
If you're the treasurer, you must be Ted.
Yes. I watch it.
We now move on to the operations report. That be Frank.
That would be me. So I rustled my strapping son out of bed to help me go get the lawnmower and the tiller, which I could have done on my own, but that lawnmower is big. And so the lawnmower and the tiller are at Fleury. We did that Tuesday. They said it would take 2 weeks. So I have a battery powered mower at home. I think I'm gonna go up and just do a little bit of spot mowing in the corners just to keep it down, because in 2 weeks, I think we're supposed to get in the 80s next week. So
Oh, wow.
things are gonna start growing real fast up there. Compost does wonders when it runs off. So, but that's gonna be a couple of weeks, and then I can just pick it up in my car, because the nice thing about that lawnmower is the handle folds, so I can put it in the back of the Outback and go. We got most of the hoses out, and there's still a couple more to put out. I checked 3 of the nozzles are stuck on the hoses and they're broken. So we have 1 mail in for hose repair. I'm making a list. I have a list. I'm probably gonna have to add to it before I go up to Aubuchon and then buy some new ends. I'll probably need to buy some. No, they come with the hose clamp, so that should be fine. So that's hoses. Then we just need to keep working on And that's, and Karen, you're gonna need help with your plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're for real.
Yeah, I filled the whole garbage bag full the other day.
Yeah,
Just so one.
yeah. So we'll try and get something organized. I just got to get through this next week at work. I'll work up with the community college, and this is like the end of the semester crunch time. But we need to organize like a work party, and then we'll just go up there and try and knock it all out. And then I did another walk around. I really didn't see it anywhere except that first quadrant, and then it's gotten over into where y'all are. So
We're just about gone.
right.
We've been
Yeah, we
going up several times a week.
Right, we
Any little piece we find.
We did a big removal, and then we were back a couple days later, just caught a couple.
Yep.
coming up. And then went back today, and just a little couple more coming up.
Yep.
They're coming, but they're smaller,
And now that we've got
and
it
it's
back there,
manageable now.
Yeah, and I think too. I mean, the main thing is to just keep pulling anything that's green
Right.
and dig down.
Right.
You may get lucky. It may be just starting,
Yeah.
but just starve out the roots.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have to be really vigilant here for like the next couple of years, really.
I did
And
a whole Google search on it.
oh yeah, no, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. But they had some good ideas. One thing they suggested was using straight vinegar in a spray bottle,
Right.
and that but you have to keep on top of it.
You have to do it.
every, once a week.
There's another formula with Epsom salts
I saw
and
that.
vinegar too, but you just got to keep in mind that if you're going to use vinegar, it's going to like kill everything in your soil.
Right.
So, so you want to make sure you got some compost to kind of
Right.
reinvigorate the soil.
I've used 30% vinegar, which you can get at Lowe's, because we have poison ivy coming up from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the little spray bottle is like kind of worthless.
Right.
You know, it just puts this nice light mist on there, which is not. You need more than that to coat it to kill it.
Okay, here's what we'll do then. Since I'm making a list to go to Aubuchon, we don't need one of those bigger sprayers, but you can
No.
get like a 1 gallon sprayer. And let's just get a 1 gallon sprayer and label it
30%.
30%, and then we'll use that to work on the spot stuff with the thistle. Because I went out because the field behind where the bird feeders are,
Yeah.
there's a patch out there, and I walked out, and there's ticks. I mean, you just gotta really watch for ticks.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I'm off, taking tomorrow off. I'm gonna be up there early, probably half the morning. So I'm gonna go back out because I couldn't find it, which is unusual.
Ah.
It's a patch as big as one of these tables. It's not small. So I'll see if I can find it again so we can start knocking it down. But that's getting the sprayer will be a really good thing.
Is that around D1? The patch you're talking about?
Where it's out,
Yeah.
but no, it's probably more parallel to D3, D2, D3, right in there. So yeah, that's something I just want to try, and if I have to, I'll just keep hacking it down.
Yeah.
We thought if everybody commits to, 20 every time they go up, eventually we can knock out 8,000 of them.
But it is, you start watching videos on it, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And like I said, Roundup will kill it all, but then we're gonna have glyphosate for a long time, and really prefer to not go that
Yeah,
route.
it might kill us too.
Pardon?
It might kill us too.
All right. I don't have a whole lot more to add. Everything looks good with the water still too. There's no leaks or anything. Yeah, DPW came and bailed us out last year. They did an awesome job. There was a leak.
Yeah, it's been great.
We were joking about starting to grow rice up there. So they did a really good job responding.
Frank, I put the last hose out, so I think all our hoses are.
So all the hoses are out?
But I didn't go around till now, because Kathy pointed out that there's one near her, is broken.
Why don't we just get our own?
Well, some people actually do bring their own.
Yeah, just bring our own nozzle.
Anyway, so we.
Yeah, but you gotta get the problem is the old ones.
Yeah.
They're hard. Actually, another thing, plumber's tape.
They can be.
It's just, they like cement themselves on. I've been up there with wrenches and everything, and they won't budge.
Really?
So yeah, no. So we just gotta snip them, and that's why I got the mail-ins for the hoses. Because the hoses are fine. It's just getting the end. So we have to like, and I have a bunch of graphite from my grandfather's woodworking workshop. He's been dead 30 years, and I still have. I mean, he had that much. So it wouldn't be a bad idea if I could just put some of that on there too. Because it's really, some of them you can't get those nozzles off. They're there for eternity. Hi, Mark.
Great, I just heard your voice, I just followed your.
Hey, just follow me down.
It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know
We
about that.
we voted so you can get money. How you like that?
So much, I appreciate it.
And for the record,
Better count it.
for our purposes of our attendance, we ask everyone to attend in by plot number.
Which,
You have to cite your plot number, so that for the record about whether your
my plot number, C5.
Yes, plot number is. Okay.
And then you're taking us to the Brass Cat after the meeting, right?
That's right, I got enough there, yeah.
We have an open account there,
Oh, even better.
That would be awesome.
so, okay, so that concludes our
Yes,
operations
I'm
report.
done with the operations.
In fact, you know when you go over to Overshawn to put it under the DPW. Or you not, or you,
Wait.
we'll talk.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay, now, outreach. report.
Outreach.
Internal outreach,
We are full,
yes.
except for B1 and B4, which, we are waiting to have a conversation with the city, is that
Yes.
right, Stephen?
Yes.
About reserving those spots for special needs.
Correct,
We have 16 new gardeners, a couple of whom are sharing with old returning gardeners. We have a waiting list of 2, possibly 3 people. I'm waiting to hear from one person. And 3 people joined at the very end of the season last year. And yeah.
Right,
so they're
and they
kind-
cleaned up the plots.
Yeah, they did a lot of work in September and onward in chilly weather, and they are back again and enthusiastic. And I just want to remind people, while you're, pulling thistle, pull the ragweed. Because that makes people, including me, really suffer when it's flowering. So last year, when I first came, I tried pulling bags and bags of ragweed, and I just had to give up because I just don't have the strength to carry those huge bags anymore. Taking it back to the dumpster by my house. And walking around at the end of last season, there were some ragweed farms out there. And, you know, I see quite a bit of thistle here and there in individual gardens, but if we're vigilant, it won't take over. I don't think I have much else either.
Margie, just to be very clear, on B8, which is Ted's.
B8,
Ted's spot,
that's Ted.
right,
Yeah, I was gonna share.
yeah, right, they divided it out, so I just wanted to point out, so it's ready
Okay,
to,
well,
it's ready to be shared.
All right, I have to email the people on the waiting list to see if they want to share. Sometimes people don't want to share.
Well, this is like.
Yeah, again, if
this
they
is-
don't, we can always grow something in it for the donation plot,
Yes.
so, or donation, not a problem.
Thanks for reminding me, I actually forgot. But I'll send an email out and see if, one person I haven't heard back from, but And then this one woman who was at the top of the list, she said she didn't want to join right now, maybe later in the season, but maybe she'll do half.
Hmm.
I'll contact her.
So Cindy is the last person, I think, right?
Yeah, and Cindy, I never heard back from the former gardener in C12.
Correct, and that's why we get,
And I sent her many emails.
yes, no,
And finally I said, that's it, we're offering your
Yes.
plot. And she had actually emailed me a couple of months ago that she had been in the hospital, so
Oh.
I'm just kind of hoping that she's okay.
yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard from Cindy though.
she sent in her application, I heard from Barbara,
Okay,
and Cindy too let me know. I got
Okay.
the copy,
Well, she'll need a
scanned
key.
one from Barbara. Barbara, if you don't know, is the city clerk who works with us, and she deposits the money from the applications. I don't know what else she does, and she lets
She
me
does a
know.
lot.
She's
I'm sure
amazing.
she does a lot, but I
She's-
couldn't enumerate.
She keeps track of all the purchase orders, the open purchase orders. As the bills are paid, she makes sure that before she submits the bill for payment, she has the receipts. And that's why I keep asking, if you're getting receipts, get them and put them in an envelope in the Dropbox for Barbara.
What is Barbara's last name?
Lombard, capital L, A, capital B, O-M-B-A-R-D.
And when I had some receipts, you asked me to put them in an envelope with your name on it, and the Dropbox. Is that
Yeah,
still okay?
and then I told Barbara, I said, if you see it, let me know. And then she said, why don't you just put my name on it?
Okay. Okay.
So in the future, just put Barbara's name on it, because eventually it has to go to her anyway. I wasn't sure
Oh, that's fine.
because I hadn't spoken to her, so that's why I put my name. Thank you. But thanks for getting in quickly. She has it, she's ready, she's just waiting for the bill.
okay.
Can I follow up on one thing that Margie had addressed too? Just for like history for new folk. Invariably people are gonna abandon their plots. Usually happens when,
Oh, really?
yeah, because the weeds will get too high
Oh, yeah.
and they're back of their mind and say, just paid $20 for this. Or life interrupts and for whatever reason they disappear. So we kind of came to a decision because we had interest of people wanting plots. So towards the end, we just decided, hey, if they want to come in, because these are, they're abandoned, so it's a lot of work. If they come in and they clean it all up, then they basically reserve that plot for them for the next season.
Yeah, we didn't charge people who came in at the end of the
Right.
semester, of this season, because they couldn't really grow anything, but they were anxious to come in and
Yep.
get to work.
And they
that
knew
was
they'd have a
good
plot.
for everybody.
Because we used to have to organize a work party and try and clean it all up, and this is just was a much better way to do it.
I have one more thing. Sarah King emailed me,
Yeah.
and she would like to revisit not that it's right now that it's relevant, but the ability for people to get a second plot.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of would too, because I'm thinking about, I'd like to leave Northampton, but this one plot might not be quite enough.
Mm-hmm.
But it's maybe only relevant once we have plots that nobody is gardening in. And also she's sorry she couldn't make it, and she said she was a little COVID nervous. And I'm imagining that other people are too, otherwise they'd be on a Zoom meeting. I think we have more people. I was a little, some trepidation about
Mm-hmm.
coming, but I'm usually pretty willing. And Sarah would also like to be in charge of the flower beds and planting seeds.
At the top?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'll tell her yes. And she said she noticed that people have started doing some work up there. Does anybody know who Were you doing that? No? Not you with him?
It wasn't me, but last year I planted some butterfly weed up there that I had started, and then
Oh, yeah.
somebody weeded it all out.
Oh,
I don't call it a weed for nothing. I mean, I planted it in rows, so I figured, yeah, I should have labeled it maybe or something. I can start. I have a little grow room, so I can start. It's not a problem.
That's too bad, butterfly weeds are nice.
Butterfly weed's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, just another thing too, for just so you all know. I mean, I don't really want to advocate for doing this right now, but we can keep making more plots to all the way to where those bluebird boxes are.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
land is designated to our garden area. So we would probably have to call our farmer neighbors with their tractors again
Sure, yeah.
and beer them up or feed them or do something because they're the ones that plowed and winnowed the whole thing to begin with. You know, we talk about these second plots and all that. It's going to add more work. And
but for people who want a second thought, that might be a good spot to start.
it's a thought.
Okay. The other thing is, I extended, so I have a little plot where I'm living, and I doubled that. I put, last fall, I put cardboard and leaves that had fallen and straw. I covered that last fall and left that all winter, and it's ready to plant without me having to till it now. So that's something that we might consider as an experiment, taking a few plots and just covering them with, stuff, green stuff, leaving it over winter and seeing how it looks next spring.
You'd have to do that probably for a year with that crazy
What's
pasture
that
grass.
thing?
That's that rhizome stuff, man.
Okay.
It's tough. Yeah, it's different than a yard, but it's worth a shot. But again, we start venturing out that way. That's where there's thistle too. So it's just something. I had noticed that the thistle does seem to. I mean, the goldenrod seems to stop the thistle. It seems to act as a barrier. This is all anecdotal. I have no sign, no evidence to prove this any other way. But it'd be interesting to. I'm going to transplant some goldenrod from my house and do a little bit of experimentation up there this year.
I've
just to
noticed
see.
that the one place I didn't have any thistle was where we had dock.
Where you have the dock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course,
that's-
the dock roots are.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't mind the dock out in the field as long as it's not in my garden.
What is that?
The dock.
Dock.
Yeah.
That's the only place I
You
didn't have.
got it.
Everybody's got it. It's a
I'll
very
show you when you're
tall.
up there.
It actually looks similar to thistle, but not as sharp, not as pointy.
Is it yellow duck?
Mm-mm.
I don't think
Is
it's
it
a yellow
yellow
dock.
The leaves are when they're young. It has almost looks a little like spinach, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the taproot is
It's
deep.
long.
Like if you had a
And
like
it's thick.
for that soil where like there's clay, it's awesome. If you want to break the dirt up, it's
Yeah.
great. You just gotta get it all out.
You know, something, at the Northampton Community Garden, it's across the back road, there's a lot of Japanese knotweed.
Yeah.
And they're threatening to put something like Roundup.
Yeah. Right.
And that's one of the reasons I came here to Easthampton, because my plot is like right near that road, and I don't want that, what's it called, with the G, what?
The glyphosate.
Glyphosate,
I don't wanna be anywhere near that. And some different gardeners are trying different methods. We got the city to hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
And one person has this ongoing experiment with tarps. And it seems to be working, but it is taking a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
And then I decided there's all this wild mint up there, and the mint, I've pretty much got it out of my garden. I've been there almost 40 years. But it takes over, so I put a little bit of mint there, and it's in like 2 years, It's spread like mad, and it seems to be also acting as a barrier to the Japanese knotweed, which is, that's like a superpower.
Yeah, because that stuff is, it's, the
So,
knotweed's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, I had a battle with it,
Oh, I know, that's right, you were telling me
in my
that whole
garden,
story.
I put a carpet down over it, and then I put a winter cover for swimming pool over it to smother it, and it did smother it, but it would grow like 10 feet, stick
Yeah,
up
yeah.
out.
The other way.
But it probably got rid of 2/3 at least of it,
oh,
or
that's
maybe
good.
more.
That's good.
And then the rest of it, I just kept whacking it down with my weed whacker and kept it under control. Kept it out of my
We
raspberries.
made wine with it, and it was
Oh,
truly,
Not
The
with
wine was
it
terrible.
was the most wild thing I ever drank in my life, but if you need pantry removers, I don't know my food.
Did
When
you
it
just
was
decide
small,
to
she
do
made
that?
some wine
Yeah,
out of it.
I make wine out of everything.
Maybe we could kill the thistle with the wine.
Yeah.
That was probably work, it was,
Thistle wine,
No, we could make thistle wine.
There you go.
make a fortune.
Good idea, Mark.
Just to conclude your report, Marty, just to relate back to Sarah and anyone else. So we're meeting in person because the city has determined that all committees are supposed to now meet in person. There isn't the ability to do hybrid style, so unfortunately, that does mean that for those people who prefer, a virtual meeting, it's not an option.
Is there a larger room if people wanted to stay more spread out, more people?
I think this is
This is
about,
pretty
This is
much,
the largest.
apart from the chambers upstairs.
the air filters are useful.
That's fine.
I just want to apologize. I don't have a mask with me. Every time I've come in the building recently.
oh, no,
Nobody's-
if I wasn't just
but-
hanging out, like I come in the day, I don't wear a mask in here if I'm dropping off a bill or something.
I'll be happy to wear a mask next time.
No, I
Make
think,
everybody
Mine on
feel
because
better.
So many people have it on, and
Yeah.
I don't usually wear one.
So,
Oh, we are never any place
Yeah,
without
we
it.
got in the habit of doing it now that,
But- I see, Steven, I thought from what I was reading, they were gonna make it, they were gonna have the technology to where we could do Zoom, like we could have a Zoom setup here.
yeah,
The city council has it now.
Yeah,
They are conducting hybrid meetings, and it's quite possible that maybe we come in, I was just showing about this,
yeah.
so I don't know. But
Well, I'll come in, well,
this
we
is
can
what we
explore
were,
it.
this is what we were directed.
Yeah, because we can explore that option because when we have Zoom, we
That would be
always
great.
have a lot more people at the meeting.
Yeah.
Then they can stay home, drink wine,
It's great stuff.
you've been
Anyway, I just
listen to
wanted-
jokes about making thistle wine,
That's right, yeah.
and whatever.
Okay, we're moving on now
Yeah.
to the donation garden report.
Donation garden is underway. We actually have volunteers this year, and Stephen helped with that at a previous meeting. Asked for some people to step forward. We had 3 or 4 people who said something. We've had 1 work session so far, and I had 1 person come who was Olivia, I forget her last name. Burke, right? And a very pleasant woman, and she helped out, and we cleaned some weeds out, and I'm looking maybe this Saturday having another short work session to continue the work to spread out some of the compost that we were able to put in there. And I think they had some topsoil on it, right? We've been talking about that for a while. A lot of these plots are kind of depleted. And I just want some topsoil for my own actually. But for the donation, I think I added some last year and it helped out. Hopefully we'll have better weather this year. So what I'm trying to do is to get folks to tell me what are things, you all may have some suggestions, what do you think are things that would be good to grow?
Oh, to grow?
That would be productive.
Kale.
Kale, if we have from
Squash.
I see maybe summer squash, that's usually very productive, right?
Yeah, very.
I can't get that to grow anywhere.
It's not summer even? I mean, winter, I know I've
It was
struggled with
not,
myself.
no zucchini, I do better with the butternut. I can't get zucchini or yellow squash
No
to
kidding.
grow.
We could try it.
Maybe it's just me.
Anybody?
Yeah, we could try it.
Good luck with zucchini.
Zucchini would be very productive,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me try that then. I thought like pole beans is a great idea because they go
Yep.
up, you know.
I have a
you
lot
utilize
of pole bean
space.
seeds, yeah.
Okay.
There you go, so use it, is that what you want?
We had pretty good luck with cucumbers last year.
Yeah, cucumbers are good.
tomatoes, obviously, people like that. It's a limited space, we can only get squeeze so much production.
Right,
Other
right.
Donation efforts are gonna come.
The
from-
tomatoes are a little problematic on the, if we don't, the large tomatoes are good because you can bring them over and you can set them up. The little ones require, because they parse them out. So, no one's gonna kind of have 4 or 5 little.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think we should do the little ones.
Not unless we were put them into baskets, but you're right.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't really work out.
Okay, so we do tomatoes, we'll do the large,
Plum tomatoes would be good.
yeah, something like.
They're very hardy
Not cherry.
and very easy to distribute.
So, I'm really hopeful that people are gonna step up and help, because I think, besides myself and maybe a couple others last year.
Yeah.
Once we're doing anything, that gets to be a little.
I volunteered before I broke my arm, but
Well,
I may have to put you to work for what I volunteered for.
Don't feel obligated. The other option of donation, especially for new gardeners, is that people, if they have extra produce in their existing gardens, that personal gardens, you can donate that, put them in a little coolers, carry the shed, and Steve and myself will take them over to the same on Monday morning. So yeah, I think we're doing okay. We just have to keep going and really keep weeds and other things in control. Use the wood chips to create the pathways and all that sort of thing, and mulch as much as we can. But I'm gonna try to get some help with that this year. So that's my report.
Yep, Mark, if you need topsoil, the topsoil they sell at the feed store,
I got some in Easthampton feed too from
Yeah.
myself.
the Fosters.
You got the good stuff. And then
Yeah, they get that Foster's Brothers or whatever from It's just a brown. It's got like a brownish label on it.
okay, you use that.
Yeah, that stuff's good. Yeah.
Foster's is the name.
Yeah, Foster's. They got like manure, and then then they've got just like topsoil.
Okay.
And the topsoil, it's a nice mix to put in. Like I bought bags of it to mix with the compost that you had ordered. And it's because it kind of the compost is a little friable, it's a little airy. And the topsoil really adds some body to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've used that before up in where the gardens, the flower
yeah.
beds are.
Right. Yeah. We can
It's good stuff.
soil as much as we can.
Hey, we got that purchase order with them. Use it.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Bet.
Pollinating garden.
Pollinator, we're keeping an eye on perennials coming back up. It's still early in the season, but some are coming up, and I'm sure more will come up by the end of the month. And also, I had put Cleome and Cosmos on the other side. And in my own gardens, I always have volunteers from them.
Yeah,
That
Cleome especially.
Yeah, they just throw their seeds around and they come up. So I'm keeping an eye out for that, and I'll make sure I clear, a space, make sure that they have room to come up. But also, it would be good. I have found in my own with Cosmos and Cleome, the ones that start from seed, that volunteer from seed, they take longer to come to blooming, but they last until frost. But if I go ahead and buy some 6-packs, I get flowers right away, and they go through to about August. Then they're dying out, but then the ones that I've had growing from seed, they carry it through the frost. So that's what I'm hoping to do again this year.
Do you want any? I've been growing some sunflower starters. Do you
Oh,
want
yeah. And with now that it's like normal and not boggy, I'm thinking it should be good. And I have some, I don't know if other people have, but I have some chicken wire that I can kind of put over it to keep rabbits from.
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
So,
What do you want me to do? Deliver them?
so I can pick them up at your place. Is that
I don't mind bringing them over. I can do it like first thing Saturday morning.
okay?
Is that all right?
Yeah, like put them under the picnic table.
Okay.
Karen, do you still need help?
Yeah, it's just digging up. I've got wood chips on there. More wood chips are good. I have some more. There's some weeds that came up in one area, like a kind of a ground ivy, and I will pull those out. But when I was looking at it the other day, it was blooming and there were bees on it. So I'm just gonna let that, finish blooming, then I'll pull that out and put something long season in there.
But I'm assuming people can still volunteer to help.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That concludes the reports. We actually did get into gardener feedback, just through your report, Margie.
I'm sorry?
Through your report, we did get some gardener feedback
Oh,
from
like
Sarah.
from Sarah?
Is there any new business coming up?
I had a quick question about pests. Should we plan on having to fence what we've got because of rabbits?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Will we have to fence our garden area because of bunnies?
Well, I'm planning on fencing mine because last year they came and ate all my kale.
Oh.
So it's just, I think, what plot are you in? You're in,
D4, D3.
oh, so you're right next to the
Yeah, the thistle.
wilderness.
Yeah.
You might wanna put at least a fence up, like in the front, over the front, but if you can, I recommend it because I'm gonna try and do that. I found a lot of chicken wire that someone threw away. And I'm sick of those critters just undermining my hard work.
This is expensive, but
Yeah,
when
I've seen
up in
some
Covington
people.
where our garden was, I found this electric fence. It's about 18 inches high. It was solar, so you could step over it and everything. But it kept the rabbits out, kept the woodchucks out, kept the neighborhood cats out pooping in there. And it worked great. Unfortunately, it's not cheap,
Right.
but it worked. But it really worked.
I've seen some people put they have some sensitive plants, just put some sticks in and wrap a stretch of chicken wire around that area.
Yeah,
They haven't bothered my tomatoes. It's mainly been, I had kale out there.
The greens.
Yeah.
I'll get beans too. I've grown. One year I had 5 varieties of beans, and there's one bean that I have that's from Brazil. They just destroy it.
Is that right? Yeah.
It gets that high, and then it's like they just mow it down. They don't need any of the other beans. And I can't. I have to grow all those at home. I can't grow them.
Yeah.
And they're I don't know if you've seen them in your neighborhood, but they're all over my neighborhood.
which would,
All red rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may have one of those years, and then we need all the foxes and coyotes to have their litters and clear them all out for us. But
We lived in Covington for 40 years and had very little wildlife in our backyard. Man, it's like living in the jungle.
We had 3 acres and just never saw a bear. I raised bees. I had 12 hives. Not one time did I have a bear. Here,
They come into our
the bear's like my buddy.
where do you live?
Main Street.
Right on Main Street.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
there's
It
a
rips
bear in
everything
my
down.
backyard, and I'm right by Northampton Street.
That,
Bear,
and we
deer
got
are in the
bobcats and
backyard, I
rabbits.
mean,
And deer.
everything.
that's silly.
In the Northampton garden a couple of years ago, there was a plague of woodchucks.
Oh,
And
those
there was
buggers.
some big
Yeah.
The
ones.
big ones, yeah.
And we had to fight with the city, and finally somebody came out and he killed 12 of them.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh.
No, go away,
no,
man.
no,
Don't
no,
worry.
no, no.
Nah,
They'll be back, and they did start coming
Yeah,
back again
yeah.
last year.
no
But they
mercy.
eat, man, they would take, I figured they cost me about $300.
Oh, I can believe it.
Because they took bites out of the cabbage.
Yeah, the cabbage, they'll just go right through it.
Yep, and the kale was destroyed, and
Yeah.
I found a spray, it's a concentrate, it's called Repels All,
Mhm.
and it's mostly made from rotten eggs.
Huh.
And it works, but every time it rains, you gotta go spray again.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can't get there after
Sell
a
that
rain.
in garden stores.
What?
They sell that in garden
I think some of the garden stores have it, but, it's cheaper to get it online.
Yeah, even those, I think even like Lowe's and those places actually sell it and stuff.
I'm sorry, we have
Hearing
to
no
go
other
get-
new business,
Okay.
I gotta get the
it's,
chicken.
that's the
Yeah.
end of our
You know,
agenda.
once
It's
you
8:00. Is there a motion
Oh,
to
that's a
adjourn?
strange smell.
I'll motion.
Motion.
Never get it.
Second.
We're on chicken duty tonight, I gotta go.
It was the chicken brooder that cost me my arm this year.
Oh.
Tripped right over this.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.